Do we have any insight into what they're actually talking about there at the NRA meeting that's today in Texas? Someone should bomb that building.
Yo, this is how I sit in bed and I think about the lock combo on my gun cabinet.
Someone should bomb that building.
I imagine how fast I can get there, punch in the code, take out the gun.
Someone should bomb that building.
Turn off the safety.
Someone should bomb that building.
Put the bullet in the chamber.
Someone should bomb that building.
I think about that obsessively every night.
Someone should bomb that building.
And that's the world I live in, okay? I'm not against violence when it's necessary.
Yes, ma'am. I just returned from the NRA annual meeting in Houston, Texas at the George R. Brown Convention Center. And while I was in there, there was a person online. His name is Ethan Klein. He was on a podcast and he made the comment that someone should bomb that building.
And if you want to test me, come to my house and I've got seven bullets. It's a semi-automatic shotgun and I can unleash 7 bullets on you without even have to cock that bitch.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and the meltdown has reached, I don't know, day 3 or 4 now, and it's been an interesting thing to watch as Ethan Klein moves from target to target, desperately flailing his arms in order to try and gain some sort of traction, while only appearing to be more and more unhinged by the day. And I sincerely hope that he gets help, that he takes this week off of YouTube, this paid week off, and then he spends some time reflecting on the things that he said, and maybe just dials it back a little bit, because I still believe strongly that Ethan Klein could be a voice for good. Even if we disagree politically, I think if he could find his roots again and focus on bringing people to the middle, the center, we could probably have a good crossover audience and we could get a lot of good things done. But the descent into madness is just not a good look, and it's just not going well in general, to be honest with you. I really appreciate everyone supporting the channel. I see a lot of new people coming in. Appreciate you clicking that red subscribe button down below the video. YouTube's definitely been purging a lot of people, so I don't know if it's existing subs that are going or people are just getting sick of stuff. It's possible. But if you enjoy the coverage, I do 5+ videos a day. Please click that red subscribe button. So Tim Pool puts out a tweet yesterday saying, "I was willing to accept this until the last part. Now I don't believe Ethan at all. Homie won't just say he's sorry without putting in tribal hatred." And this was, of course, him saying, "I want to make it clear that I don't advocate for any kind of bad behavior of any kind. That is obvious to anyone who's watched the segment, not just a 10-second clip that was used to misdirect attention." Now he then goes on to misdirect attention. Republicans are now the party of, bad things, and nothing can misdirect away from that, except he's literally misdirecting in this tweet. I think that, Ethan could have probably just said, "Look, I was joking. I know I was joking. My viewers know I was joking. But I understand why that violated the terms of service, and I'll be more careful going forward." Boom, done. Couldn't that have been like, that's not even a real taking responsibility. That's just like not trying to gaslight. But then because Tim Pool quote tweeted him, Ethan goes off the deep end. Ethan used to do this with me, except he just took too many L's over and over and over again, that now he just kind of, he's more interested in Tim Pool because Tim Pool is a bigger channel than me. And he's a Tim Pool, a proud member of the party of, like, okay, why? Because Tim is saying in this video clip that you can't use these terrible events to take rights away from people. That's not a Republican thing. Remember what they did to us with the Patriot Act? Everyone was so scared that they slipped in all sorts of garbage to erode the rights of the American people. Heck, they even used the Patriot Act, if you're old enough to remember, to stop online poker at the time. Now it's just, now that the government can tax it, they're totally fine with it. Because at the time, they only cared because they couldn't tax it. Let's be real. And then he just goes on this unhinged rant where he's like, owning this particular form of weapon is a human right. Here's, I found it. Tim misspeaks and says that basically being able to defend yourself is a human right, when like that is more debatable. You could, but it is not debatable that is a constitutionally protected right. I think that's obviously what he meant. And after this whole like, oh, woe is me, everyone needs to feel bad for me, he's just been circling the drain all weekend long, posting yet another, if you want to know how deranged Tim Pool is, just watch this. And it's Tim making he does sound deranged a little bit, but it's him making like a literal interpretation of the Second Amendment, saying like we should be able to have whatever, private citizens should be able to have whatever weapons we want. And now he's like obsessing about this guy who seems to have a much smaller channel. Well, he's not small. Legally Armed America, 291,000 subscribers. Puts out a video where he reports Ethan to the Texas Authority, and he shows the actual phone call being made. Ethan does not like this. Says, Karen filmed himself reporting me to the Texas Department of Public Safety. How do these people even use the word snowflake or triggered unironically? Dude is shaking and ending himself over a joke. I don't think he is.
I watch Texas. How can I help you?
Yes, ma'am. I just returned from the NRA annual meeting in Houston, Texas at the George R. Brown Convention Center. And while I was in there, there was a person online. His name is Ethan Klein. He was on a podcast, and he made the comment that...
I mean, would I report him to the Texas Department of Public Safety? Probably not. But this is current year, and people are deranged, and you have to be careful about saying, if something had happened, would it have been his fault? No, you couldn't blame it on him. You'd have to blame it on the person who actually did it and their actions. Would it be surprising? Would it be shocking if they were wearing a Teddy Fresh shirt while they did it? I mean, I don't know. Sometimes people just need a little push. It's like all these people that keep doing horrible things, keep being known to our government officials and having been interacted with and reported on, and then suddenly everyone's just surprised how many of these people have to be known to our government and still be able to do what they do. Anyway, that's a different topic for a different video that probably wouldn't be allowed anywhere. But I'm kidding. But then he gets mad, so then he posts a link to the guy's video, which, whatever, who cares? But then he, it's to make sure that the comments get flooded by his supporters. Big snowflake energy, blah blah. His comment section is like full of brain dead H3H3 supporters who are having a melty over it. Look, if I was at that convention and there was some podcaster, let's say I didn't know who he was, right? And somebody's like, you're there at the convention with your kids or something like that, and they're like, hey, some podcaster just in front of 40,000 people just said this to go do this. Wouldn't you feel unsafe? I feel like that's pretty reasonable, a pretty reasonable feeling to have. Now, recording yourself calling, he's just making content. Ethan knows that. But he just can't. And the media is really not letting him off the hook. And see, the thing is, what he wants everyone to think is that it was only this comment about, somebody should go, turn this building into a crater. There was much more in that video. Again, he said that people should show up at politicians' houses and be like firing weapons into the air. He also said, he was making jokes about, I don't know if it was on Twitter or in the video. There were several probably terms of service oversteps, and that YouTube just did not want to give him that strike. Amid nervous laughter after he said it, by the way, his co-host, the YouTuber, then tried to walk the comment back. I got a little carried away there. Nobody do that. All right. I take it back. Thank you. I got a little too passionate there. Let's roll it back. Rewind time. Early in his career, he was associated with a moderate anti-leftist community on YouTube, criticizing fellow creators like Casey Neistat for his partisan comments about Donald Trump and saying that YouTubers weren't qualified to opine on who to vote for. Quote, the way that Casey talks about Donald, it's almost as if he implies he's some sort of Adolfo type guy, and implies if you don't vote for Hillary that you're going to be liable for whatever he does. He almost paints him as an inhuman demon, which is just so unproductive. This is Ethan talking about it. Don't listen to me, listen to Casey. I'm just a YouTuber. But how does that qualify me to tell you who to vote for? He concluded. And here's Casey saying, if you don't vote for Hillary, you're responsible for all this terrible stuff. It's like, tone it down, dog. Get off your white horse. You make vlogs. Ethan concluded the video hinting that he was going to vote for a third-party candidate, adding, don't let people bully you and make you feel like garbage because you want to be in the middle. More people should be in the middle. And I 100% agree. 100% agree with him. In recent years, of course, he's shifted in the direction of parroting the Democratic Party line. In addition to his comments on the NRA, he also falsely accused Trump of inciting insurrections and all this kind of stuff. I mean, you could see this. Even Dankilo writes, I don't support deplatforming. Yes, I am certain that Ethan wasn't serious. But Twitter and YouTube bannings are like when a kid with rich daddy does something terrible and only gets probation, but some random guy gets 2 years for for a dimer. We all notice and we all know why. He's calling out the hypocrisy. Be right-wing and make a video criticizing anyone, and you will already be walking on thin ice. The hammer could come down any day. Be trans and left-wing, and you can literally claim to do heinous things, and you'll still get your channel back. We notice this stuff. He's right. I mean, like Count Dankula even calls out the hypocrisy, and I know it isn't easy for Dank because he does owe Ethan a debt of gratitude for helping him out with YouTube. So for him to come out and kind of say that, it makes sense. Then you have him say, and by the way, this Greg Abbott guy seems like a real piece of garbage too. Okay, like I don't like any politicians, but like now he's saying he's an incompetent demon. He's truly vile, pathetic. God hates him, and the man got paralyzed when a tree randomly fell on him. Not kidding. He's a demon. Okay. So are you saying that anybody who is paralyzed in a freak accident is a demon? What makes him a demon is the fact that he sued the homeowner. I think he sued the homeowner. Now, maybe there's details about that I don't know, but from what I understand, he sued the homeowner for like $7 million. Homeowner and maybe a tree service or something, and then worked to change the law so nobody could ever do that again after he was governor. Like that's what I know about it. I'm not an expert. If he was in Wisconsin, I'd probably know more about him. But he's not my governor. I got a pretty terrible one here with the worst governor maybe in the history of governors, Tony Evers. But everybody probably feels that same way. But again, like, is this an ELA approved tweet? As a Paralyzed fan, this is kind of a weird route to take. I guess God hated me too, and condemned me to this awful life of being a paraplegic. Every day I wake up saying, why God, why hate me? Actually, I don't. It really isn't the torture you're making it out to be. I love my life. Oh, okay. Again, I don't think he's saying necessarily that I think he's just like angry and flailing, but it's a weird downward spiral. And if he isn't careful, like he's got a lot of employees and stuff like that. I know that like literally he's never going to get banned from YouTube, and I don't think he should be. I mean, unless he continues to violate strikes, but like you don't even have to think about it. Remember that Susan Wojcicki literally appeared on their podcast. They are never going to suffer the same rules, the same consequences as the rest of us. You don't even have to think about it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for clicking that red subscribe button down below. We'll talk to you again real soon.